What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that all of you are having an amazing Throwback Thursday. So I want to talk another film that I love that Chris Tucker did called Money Talks, and it came out in 1997. It is an American action comedy, and this film was directed by Brent Ratner, who this was his directorial debut, and the other films that he directed with Chris were all three of the Rush Hour series. So they worked together for at least four times that we know of. But Money Talks was released on August 27th, 1997. And Chris Tucker plays Franklin Maurice Hatchett, who is hilarious throughout the whole film. And I love the fact that Elise Neal, his girlfriend, says his whole government name throughout the film. She's just hilarious as well. But he's a fast talking, small time car wash hustler and a ticket scalper who owes money to a local mobster named Carmine. So the police get a tip from James Russell, who's played by Charlie Sheen. And basically, Franklin, he gets arrested. So while he's in a prison transport unit, he's handcuffed to a French criminal named Raymond Villard. So the transport unit is attacked on a bridge, and Villard's people come and they just like wipe out all the cops, and everybody basically doesn't make it except for Franklin and Villard because they're handcuffed together. So I remember they go up in a helicopter. Chris Franklin is like, hugging him. He's clapping. He's all happy because they made their escape. And Franklin overhears them discussing the location of some stolen diamonds. Okay, so then Franklin jumps out of the helicopter after he realizes that they're going to try to unalive him. And then Franklin's recognized by police officers, but he's able to elude them. And then he calls James Russell after seeing his face on an advertisement. So James had just been fired from his job at Channel 12 News after arguing with his boss, Barkley. But then he convinces Franklin to hide with him because next week is sweeps week. Okay. And I'm laughing because they was talking about that dang on sweeps week throughout the whole movie, pretty much. But he manages to get his job back when he tells his boss that he has an exclusive interview with Franklin. So together they go to James's wedding rehearsal dinner where he meets James's fiancee, Grace, played by Heather Locklear. And so Franklin, he pretends to be Victor Moan's son. Chris Tucker, oh my goodness. He said he was Victor Moan Jr. He's a mess. So in the meantime, the police detectives are questioning Franklin's girlfriend, Paula, who's played by Elise Neal, and they wiretap her phone. So after calling Paula, Franklin tries to leave, but he realizes the police are searching for him. So he goes back up to the party and he convinces James to help him out. So the two go all over the city to find clues in order to clear Franklin's name, including calling in, a European nightclub, and they air that out. Okay. And then they are followed by the police when they go visit Paula, who's pregnant, and they're getting chased by the Frenchman, Villard, and his men. So then they go visit Franklin's childhood friend, Aaron, who's a local arms dealer. And, Aaron hooks him up and basically, he tells Franklin to stay out of trouble. But he said also, give me a call if you need me, if you need help getting out of trouble, which is going to come in handy later on in the movie. So the next morning, Franklin convinces the Grace's father, okay, to buy this Jaguar from, this auto expo, because that's where the Europeans have stashed the diamonds. So then Franklin and the guy get into a bidding war, and they end up getting the car. So then so then they're driving the car all crazy across the city while Villard kidnaps James. So Villard then uses Franklin, or he calls Franklin, uses James's phone, and demands the return of the diamonds. So he realizes that, he has no chance on his own. So he calls the police detectives, he calls Carmine, and he calls Aaron, his homeboy, who's the arms dealer. Okay. And he tells them all to meet him at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. So there they find out that one of the detectives was a dirty cop, Bobby Pickett, who was working for Villard, the Frenchman. And a massive pow pow ends up happening at the Coliseum. And the police detectives in Carmine are all wiped out. So then Aaron shows up with his henchmen. He has a huge, okay, y'all know what, and he wipes the crew out. So then, in the meantime, James manages to escape, and he places several unpinned. Y'all know, y'all know what they got underneath the helicopter, and it's ready to detonate if it tries to take off. So then he reunites with Franklin, saving him from being pow-powed by Villard. And then he's cornered once again, and Franklin realizes that the diamonds are not worth his life, so he throws them at the Frenchman's remaining men, who all, drop what they got, and they start grabbing as many diamonds as they can. So then the police arrive, and he tries to escape in the helicopter, but he ends up getting unalive through the pow-pows. Y'all got to work with me here, okay? YouTube, I'm trying to stick to the guidelines. But in the end, right, both Franklin and James, they're cleared and they're branded as heroes. And so, through the news, Franklin actually, of course, takes his cut and puts one in a wedding ring that he gives to James, who marries Grace, and has Franklin as his best man. And before the credits roll, James, along with Grace, and Franklin alongside of Paula, they walk down the aisle and they go out. And of course, we have Franklin, who shows that he got the diamonds in his ear as well. So I love Money Talks. I think that it's hilarious. When he first meets Heather Locklear's character, Grace, and he's, Charlie Sheen, James, he's like, don't say anything about my fiance's weight. She's very sensitive. And the first thing that Chris Tucker says is, he calls her fat. And of course, she's, Heather Locklear has always been really slim and trim. But he's like, fat, pretty hot and tempting. PHAT. I love the 90s. I love the 90s movies, man. Like the 90s was such a good decade. Oh my gracious. Anyway, so y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Money Talks. It's, again, like I said, it's just one of those hilarious movies where Chris Tucker basically carries the entire movie on his back. I love his comedic style. He's someone who uses physicality, and so he's like always like dancing throughout the film as well. He's just a great entertainer overall. So y'all drop down in the comments, let me know your thoughts about the movie. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will talk to you later. Take care, aces. Bye.